Hey everyone, today we're going to do a 5-minute custom. We're going to take this Chewbacca and add this snow effect. It is super easy. I just use this stuff called AK Terrains Snow. I like doing custom videos like this because they're very difficult to mess up, so if you are a beginner and you're just getting into customizing figures, this is very low stakes, especially because these Hoth figures are really cheap. This Han Solo and Luke Skywalker were repainted by Frederick's Figures, so the stakes are a little higher for me because I don't want to mess up his awesome paint work, but I was really happy to see how this terrain stuff behaved. It looks kind of like marshmallow fluff when you open the jar, but it has this very subtle granular quality to it, like a very, very fine powder, which is important when you're going for a snow effect. Whenever you're using terrains at a smaller scale, in this case 1/12 scale, you can't really have it be very granular. For instance, like if you're going to do a diorama and you want to have sand, if you're going to shrink that down to 1/12 scale, you need to use powder, otherwise the sand is going to come out looking like pebbles or rocks, because your mind sees it and kind of scales it up to whatever the scale of humans are. So for something like this with snow on such a miniature scale, it needs to be extremely fine. You almost can't even tell that there's a powder in this, it just kind of looks like sour cream, but it does have a slight grain to it, and I think that becomes a little bit more apparent when it dries. Tutorial videos like this don't always do very well in the algorithm, so if you want to give this video a like, that helps me out a lot. Or if you're new here, please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'm pretty much just using a very small amount here. It's better to use less and then just add more later than doing too much. And also, you'll notice that I'm not really covering the whole figure, I'm just hitting it in certain patches. I'm kind of making it look like the old Hoth Chewbacca 3.75-inch figure that was released a while ago. But the key here is to move in a downward motion so the snow kind of piles up on the higher points. If you can see on his bandolier, it really just like kind of kicks up on the top and looks like it's built up, you know, you want it to have a sense of gravity. And because he's going to be walking around in the snow, it would make sense that he has a lot more snow around his legs and feet, so we're just going to cake that on a little bit higher and just slowly work it upwards so it's really heavy on the bottom. Here is where I kind of made a mistake, but I want to show you how easy it is to clear up. It wasn't really brushing off my finger evenly, and we kind of just like spread it out and just looks like I'm kind of painting this thing white here. So I'm going to rub it off with my finger that doesn't have the snow on it, and I'm going to just take a little bit more of the clumps and be a little bit more deliberate with it there. And you see I'm almost like kind of like slapping it on. It just kicks up a little bit more nicely and just looks a little bit more natural. And especially on the top here, sometimes, you know, you don't want to blend it too much. Once you get a nice bit that looks like snow sitting on top of something, you just kind of leave it alone for a second. So it's really, I think the key in getting this right is just knowing when to stop. I think the only way you could really mess this up is if you really just kind of spread it all over the place. And I should have been a little bit more careful with where I was holding it with my left hand, because I was kind of, you can see I'm kind of messing up the bag and his left arm with my palm there. Luckily it wasn't too bad. So this whole thing literally took me 5 minutes and it dries really nicely. I didn't do a matte spray or anything on it. His eyes look a little bit wonky, but that's just the figure itself. Please consider liking this video if you enjoyed what you learned today. Subscribe if you would like to see more like this, and I'll see you next time.